Good morning everyone. Gotta say this A7RV is a surprising beast and I can't tell if I love it or if I actually don't like it for a few reasons. The first one, I'm gonna tell you right here and right now, is that the weather sealing is extremely good. I don't know if you saw, I have a long POV of like 2 hours in the rain and I put this camera literally in a water puddle and I didn't expect it, but the bottom of the camera actually started dipping into it completely. The camera was drenched. I didn't do it on purpose per se. I thought it was above the water, and then I opened those compartments and everything was dry. And a lot of you have been asking, have I ever had any problems with the cameras? Because you've seen me, I got them wet with salt water, I had to rinse them, they were many times in the rain, in the snow, in many conditions in the sand. And the only issue that I've had is if the hot shoe gets wet, then what happens is that you get an error saying this accessory is not supported. And that's for the simple reason that it thinks there is something plugged in at the top. But if you keep that little thing that's protecting, I never got any issue. And I'm touching wood, if there is wood right here, I'm touching wood, knocking on wood, that it won't happen. But if you're ever worried about your camera from the A7, I would say S3, A1, A7, even R3, and that one, the A7RV, I haven't had any issues. Look at that light, guys. It's absolutely insane. I gotta tell you, I've been really frustrated by the simple fact that I couldn't open the RAWs for the longest time ever because, guess what? Adobe didn't release any update for this camera, which means you have to use the Imagine Edge software to open the files, or you have to change the EXIF, and it's a real pain in the butt when you have many images you want to go through. Honestly, it discourages a little bit shooting RAW, and you almost want to shoot JPEG, but I'm sure by the time this video is out, the update is ready. So I have to go meet Chris Howe in Tokyo here. He's there and it's the first time we're gonna really meet, so I'm pretty excited. But on the way, I always try to keep my camera with me so I can take shots. And here in Tokyo, there's like so much, everything's so photogenic. It's a real pleasure. So I'm getting to use the 21.8 with the R5. Also allows me to get a 35mm very easily if I go in crop mode and APS-C mode. It's nice to shoot really wide because lately I've been shooting a little tighter from 35mm and up, and there's something, especially when it's like bright sunny days, at 20mm you get all that, like those shadows, the stark contrast, and I really love that. And if I can get like low shots with the long crossings like I just did earlier, I love those shots, honestly. Looks great. But look, here's a real frustration. As a Sony A1 user, as an A7S3 user, as an A7 IV user, the real frustration comes from the new autofocus on the R5. Why is it frustrating? Because I'm wondering why it's not on the A1. Let me explain exactly what I'm talking about. The new R5 has the capability literally to detect the subject and see it literally when the person is facing backwards, when it has a mask, when it's literally just a stick figure moving around. I just tried it here on the metro and in the street, and the camera sees it and can literally lock on those targets, which makes it a weapon, literally, for never missing your autofocus. Now, obviously, you can always miss your focus. There's tons of reasons, but I'm slightly frustrated because I'm like, this camera is like 3.5K or around 3.5K. The A1 is double the price. There's no firmware update to improve that. There's no AI that's been added into it or anything that's been added. So in a way, I almost feel like that R5 is gonna be superior to the A1 if you forget about the speed and the burst, obviously. But it just makes me wonder, can they do anything about that? Can Sony release a firmware update? Let me know what your sentiment is, because the R5 was probably the last camera I would have thought would have this kind of update. Why? Because it's mainly a landscape photography or like product shots, and I don't think you necessarily need that crazy AI to focus on those cameras. But on the A1, A9, or A7 IV, I felt like, especially since it's such a hybrid camera, the A7 IV, I felt like this would have been the exact perfect series to include that. I don't know if it was because the research wasn't there when those cameras released, but I really want to see a firmware update if that's possible. I know the processing is a little different, but it's still a lot of the things are the same. So maybe we can hope to see a little update on that. Now, you remember how good the stabilization on this? The stabilization is so good that I was able to do a 3.2 second handheld shot at 72mm at night, and it was sharp, and that is absolutely insane. But let's go ask Chris if he's tried this camera, because the AI autofocus is just ridiculous right now. Konnichiwa.
It's good.
Camera delivery.
Oh, there we go. I was looking for this.
Have you tried this one?
No, I haven't.
No?
No, so this will be fun.
Don't try it.
No?
No, you're gonna be like, what the heck?
Why? You think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Look in the autofocus. It sees my face?
Yeah.
Okay. Still sees me?
Yeah.
See the square around people?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like no matter how, it recognizes humans. Even like people there walking, it recognizes humans now.
Sick, dude. I wanted to like check out the screen in person. What's good, bro?
Okay, let's go.
Little flare action on there too.
Japan with some sun, Tokyo, everything. And when it's gray, you just go in the back street around sunset and everything lights up. It's epic. One of the aspects that really surprised me is that at the beginning I thought this flip screen was overwhelming. I'm like, okay, you guys put everything. I'm not sure I get it. But now I absolutely get why you would want the flip screen fully on the side, and also want to get the tilt screen. The tilt screens is gonna allow you to actually get those shots while staying compact when you're shooting like that, versus fully flipping but while being aside from your main camera. Honestly, I kind of love it now and definitely wish I had it on the A1. So we went on a little walk with Chris and I took some photos, and I was sharing a little bit my experience with the R5 and also sharing that with the A1. I feel slightly more disappointed that there is no update yet on it to make it as good, honestly, as the R5, or have that AI focus, which I keep seeing more and more. That is insane. It literally picks up people from far, and it's making photography maybe almost too easy, where honestly all you gotta do is let the camera find the subject and then just like press the lock button. If I press on my front button, it's gonna lock on the human subject. That's all I have to do. I don't even have to move the point anymore, which sounds crazy, right? It's getting way too fast. There might be a day where you'll be able to tell just with your mind in a way where you want to focus, or it will know exactly where to focus. For example, would like focus on that lady while she's walking the street, you would just press that button and lock on her. This is kind of what's happening now, and it was slightly scary, crazy, cool. Can someone explain to me if you have the same issue? This little button right here on my S3 and my A1 keeps getting stuck. It's like pushed in and it's really hard to get out. So I wonder if this is gonna happen the same with the R5. Let me know in the comments if you've had the same issue. I may have to send my camera back. Who knows, maybe there's dust, but I don't think so. It's on 2 cameras and I'm really surprised. I feel like this is a great idea, but somehow it can get like jammed and then it's hard to get out. So let me know if you've had that issue. Also, what do you think about that A7RV? Are you believing in that AI focus? Do you think it's gonna help us? Do you think we'll very soon just have to point stuff and the camera will know where to focus? Because I feel like we're not very far from that at that point. And most importantly, guys, remember, the gear is important, but what's most important is the skills you have. I've been taking photos for dozens of years without AI, without the best camera, without the best sensor, etc. And I've taken photos I absolutely love. So if you want to push your skills, no matter what kind of gear you're using, check out the 30-day advantage to great photos, the step-by-step training program I've put together for you guys. And it's helped over 2,500 photographers before you, so join us. And now, here are a few more photos from that walk. I'm gonna keep getting lost in the streets because everything looks so pretty here. I don't know what's happening. Everything's so photogenic. Add a little bit of blue sky, some direct light, and boom! And at night, it's kind of gray. You just go shoot in the areas where it's a little bit lit up and boom, you got your bangers. It's crazy. Japan is really insane. You gotta visit one day.